The latest expedition from No Man's Sky, the Cursed Expedition, has a few tricky milestones. I'll be covering everything from efficient item use and controlling the boundaries of reality to getting all your nanites and tainted metal. The Cursed Expedition introduces a few new potion items, one of which is used to locate portals. This is a pretty great addition, but you don't need to keep making them like the tooltip would suggest. Instead of using 40 silver, 33 pure ferrite and 40 chromatic metal to make an elixir of Quicksilver for each system, just spend 30 chromatic metal after going through each portal to put a base computer by it and name it appropriately. You can then just use the anomaly to teleport to it and move on to the next system without faffing about. Alternatively, if your connection to the servers is good, you can pop to the space station in the system or another person's base and look through the list of other people's bases. Chances are you'll find one close to a portal. Another alternative is that it doesn't technically matter which portal you use to progress. You could just put a base next to the first one and keep using that provided you have the correct elixir and milestone focused for the next step. However, note that if you want the lore from the story, you'll need to use a portal in the currently progressed 2 system. In the beginning, you need just a tiny bit of Pugneum, like 30, in order to make 2 of the first types of Elixir of Blood. Instead of looking for a sentinel, which can sometimes be a little annoying, they're never around when you want them. Stop off at the station in the starting system after leaving the first planet and buy a single secure facility map. Your ship on the first planet will always be located at an abandoned building, so there's a waypoint you can chart to get navigation data. Just be sure to use the map inside the atmosphere of the beautiful lush next to the station. It's good to get used to using waypoint providing items inside the atmosphere of the planet you want the location on, as if doing in space it will guide you to the second closest planet that fits the requirements. Reality tends to work a little differently in this expedition, and it's a cool yet very simple effect. Your anomaly suppressor exosuit technology essentially controls the speed at which the day and night cycle runs, as well as the amount and aggression of the boundary horrors that float around you. On full, time will move normally. On empty, it'll move incredibly quickly. On full, the horrors will spawn rarely, and you'll only see one at a time if they weren't already there. They also won't attack you. As you hit 50% power in the suppressor, the horrors will become more violent, with the occasional ranged attack, while also increasing in number. As it gets lower, they will continue to increase in number while also flinging themselves at you and exploding for high damage. You can avoid their damage by just continually moving, but for the milestone Serenity Reclaimed, you need to stand still for 60 seconds looking at specifically the night sky. For this, just fill your anomaly suppressor charge before looking up and you'll trigger the completion in no time. The Rendezvous 2 system, Gaxaral, is the only system on the standard expedition run that has an explicitly infested planet. As this is an uncharted system with no space station to automatically get the link, it's a bit of a pain. Your best move is to place a base computer by the portal as you come through and complete Breach 2. This will allow you to return back to both Rendezvous 2 and the portal itself when you need to. Fortunately, the infested Whisper is very infested. The hungering tendril locations are very dense and everywhere. Each one has 3 of the giant grubs. You'll get them in just a few minutes. Just be sure to dodge the biological horrors while shooting the grubs. As a bonus, on the way to the infested planet Whisper 15, you can stop by the scaly planet Todai to scan 2 of the 3 exotic creatures and complete a genetic glitch with ease. Now you've completed Endless Hunger and obtained your fishing rig, don't move onto the portal just yet. Just fly to Tuant Akan. It's right by Whisper, and is a redacted planet, and so anomalous. Head over to fish up your 4 anomalous fish. No need to head back to the wine dark planet you started on, as the name may accidentally imply. Glassy Stare is an amazing showing of when the target sweep comes in clutch. However, whether intended or not, the target sweep may not always work and instead tell you it's not picking up anything. To get a proper accurate reading, you need to be in the water when using it for looking for something in the water. So to find hypnotic eyes from abyssal horrors, submerge yourself in a decent sized body of water, and with the Glassy Stare milestone focused, open your analysis visor and it'll actually tell you if one is near. Landing near an ocean for this will pretty much guarantee you a fairly quick completion. Arachnophobia might just be the most annoying and tedious milestone in this expedition. Not only do we need to destroy corrupt quadrupeds, but we need 8 of them, which is essentially destroying an entire 5 waves of corrupt sentinels from start to finish. To prepare for this one, and you should prepare, you'll want to first sort your weapon. You have 3 choices. Either use the bolt caster you're given at the beginning, which admittedly is good enough, it's just not crazy high damage. Use the pulse splitter given by dislocation after you find your first portal, The good thing about the Pulse Spitter is that you can quickly get 3 S-Class upgrades for it, as both the starting system and Rendezvous 1 systems sell the S-Class upgrades in their stations. Putting them with at least the core in the supercharged makes for a solid amount of DPS. The third option is if you are doing the expo on an existing save. If so, this is one expo you may consider copying your primary save's MT for. It'll cost several thousand nanites, but it's very possible to have the required amounts at this point, or you could just come back later. You'll also want Elixir of Glass. Having it run out means fighting both the Sentinels and the Horrors at the same time, and while messing about with this, I had my first death in quite some time as I got impatient getting my last quad. Once set, you can utilise the base next to the R2 portal yet again, as right by it there's a double dissonant resonator. Just give one of them a quick shot and they'll be all over you. The ruins are super easy. Completing Discordant, which will complete as you get your quadrupeds, will reward 20 navigation data, so near the end of the expedition the next time you're in a station, just grab 3 ruin/artifact maps, use them all and you'll have a monolith, an ancient plaque and a ruin. Head to the ruin or ancient plaque, pick either language or knowledge, then go to the other and do the same for swift completion. Getting 4,200 nanites may seem like the least intuitive milestone in this expedition, as the only milestone that gives nanites is Glassy Stair and it only gives 1,500. However, it's pretty easy provided you don't install every pre-packaged unit and upgrade technology you are rewarded with. In my run, I have this completed before leaving Rendezvous 2. Here's a list of technologies you are rewarded but aren't required or particularly helpful for your progression, that you can then sell in a station. You can also refine these items for nanites. All of these items listed will provide well over 6,000 nanites without having to hunt for them. They are all rewards except for the fleshy rope and bile spawn eggs, which are gathered when shooting the grubs. Metal Bones is a cheeky milestone. Usually an emergency signal scanner to find a derelict is provided when a derelict is required. However, this time you'll need to amass 5 million units to buy one from a scrap dealer. This isn't hard though. For me, I do this one last. This expedition rewards quite a few biological, terrifying and floral samples, which are all high value vendor trash. You also have to gather ancient bones, and if you are really stuck, when you do the 2 ruins, select a knowledge and you'll get a different ruin waypoint where you'll find buried treasure. Even without that last bit, it's not difficult to be at 10 million units by the end without selling anything important. Once you have your scanner from the scrap dealer in the back, head back to the starting system named Samadano 13. The derelict in this system is great. I gathered over 700 tainted metal just from the containers, and handing in the crew manifest and captain's log to the scrap dealer will get you a further 500. Just don't do the derelict in the final system. It's awful and has very few lootable containers. Also, don't mistakenly hand in the manifest and log to the guild representative, as they won't give you tainted metal and instead just reputation. If you are in a pinch for nanites, the tainted metal can also be refined into them at a rate of 1 to 2. If you're looking for a more controlled and speedy route through the expedition, keep an eye out for the step-by-step guide that I'm in good progress of crafting. Out shortly.